What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now 210 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And of course, as always, if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we gotta get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is basically this week's episode. But the question of the day is this: who should challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's North American title? Let me know down in the comments below. And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about for this week's episode. Now, big congrats to the Dark Angel on becoming the new Women's North American Champion this past Saturday at Vengeance Day by defeating Fallon Henley. Interestingly enough, we knew at some point that Stephanie Vaquer was going to be a champion. We just didn't think it was going to be this soon. But I will say it's her reign as champion is going to be very, very interesting, to say the very least. But we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the possible challengers. However, we do know that tomorrow night on NXT, it will be a triple threat between Carmen Petrovich, Kalani Jordan, and Jada Parker, where the winner will be the first challenger for the women's North American title. But after that match, who should step up to the Dark Angel? Well, I mean, you've got a plethora of talent on NXT. I mean, you've got Adriana Rizzo, you've got Ariana Grace, Brindley Reese, Carly Bright, Cora Jade, Danny Palmer. Obviously, you got the former champion Fallon Henley. You got Gigi Dolan. You got Julia, the NXT Women's Champion. You've got Izzy Dame. You've got JC Jane. You've got Jakara Jackson, Jasmine Nix. Let's see here. Kendall Gray, Lash Legend, Lola Vice. I would say Meiko Satomura, but apparently she's going to be retiring from professional wrestling actually later on this year. So congrats to her on an incredible career. Nikita Lyons. I would say Roxanne Perez, but she's officially now on the main roster. So congrats to her on that. Shotzi, Sol Ruka, Tana Paxley, Thea Hale, Wendy Chu, Ren Sinclair, and Zarya. And then, of course, again, I always talk about it. There's always also the roster from TNA, and the roster there is absolutely fucking loaded. It is just as loaded as the NXT roster. I mean, you've got Alicia Edwards, Ash by Elegance, Danny Luna. Let's see here. Havoc. You've got Heather by Elegance. You've got Jody Threat. Killer Kelly. Apparently, I think she's leaving TNA pretty soon. I don't remember. Killing King. Lei Ying Lee, or Xia Lee, if you guys remember her. Masha Slamovich, the current TNA Knockouts champion. There's also Rosemary, Savannah Evans. You've got Steph DeLander, Tessa Blanchard, Tasha Steeles, and of course, the one and only Zaya Brookside. So you got a pretty decent amount of talent on both ends, but it comes down to which four, two from each brand, who should be the one to step up. Well, obviously, we know that there's also Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace recently signed her contract with WWE, and apparently she will now be a part of the NXT roster, which is awesome. As will that one guy that we saw last week on NXT. What was his name? Ricky Starks, I think is his name. So there's that. But if I had to pick two from each side, right? Two from TNA, two from NXT, as crazy as it sounds, I would have to say, in my honest opinion, I would have to say Ash by Elegance and Zaya Brookside from TNA. And then on the NXT side of things, I would say Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade. Now the one thing that they all have in common is the fact that all four of these women had never won singles gold in WWE. The only person that did was Ash by Elegance and the 24/7 championship, but that was more of a comedic, more of a comedic championship, if you will. It was only there just for the comedy. So in a way, it really doesn't count. In fact, only Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan are the only two among these four that have won championship gold in NXT, and that being the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. In fact, Gigi Dolan, along with JC Jane, part of Toxic Attraction, are the only two-time champions in NXT history. So that right there does say a lot, but it comes down to who wants it more, right? Who would want this opportunity more? I would say Ash by Elegance, but I think right now, from what I've been seeing on social media, excuse me, apparently she has. I think she's out with an injury from what I've been hearing. I don't know if that's true or not, but you guys can let me know in the comments. So she's out. Zaya Brookside, again, we hadn't seen her in WWE in a very long time. In fact, the last time we saw her in WWE was around the time of NXT UK, when the brand was disbanded. And the reason why NXT UK was disbanded, it was mainly because they wanted to put their focus on NXT Europe. But unfortunately, from what I've been hearing, those plans got scrapped. And I talked about that topic numerous times over the years here on the channel. Even also a potential NXT India, I think as well. So there was that, but again, those plans got scrapped. So Zaya Brookside could definitely play a big factor in the idea of a TNA star winning a WWE title, which is insane. Now, as far as Cora Jade goes, again, she has not won any singles gold ever in WWE on NXT. Yes, she's had opportunities at the NXT Women's title a couple times in the past, but now I think because that she's a bit more confident, I guess, if you will, a bit more, what would be the appropriate term? more confident, I guess maybe more mature, I guess would be the appropriate term. I don't really know if that's the case. Um, or I actually, you know what, let me rephrase it. More wiser, I guess I will say. More wiser for her age. I feel like that could really take her far in NXT. Maybe even actually, again, as Roxanne Perez pointed out, finally win a championship in WWE. And I feel like the reason why she wasn't able to win a title in WWE was because of Roxanne Perez, with the fact that people believe that Roxanne Perez, with all of her success as the NXT Women's Champion, people feel like Roxanne was the one that held Cora Jade back. But now that Roxanne Perez is going to be on the main roster, one has to assume that she will be a dominant force to be reckoned with in NXT. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Very possible. But Cora Jade, I feel like she's been slept on. She's a slept on talent and has been way too long, and I think she definitely deserves her shot at singles gold in WWE. Same thing with Gigi Dolan. She's also another sleeper talent who people don't realize how good she is in the ring. And interestingly enough, for those who are curious, she was once known as Priscilla Kelly in the Mae Young Classic. In fact, I think she was in the 2018 tournament, and I don't think she got past the first round. Actually, I think she got eliminated in the first round. But even with that, she got better and better in the ring, and became arguably one of the most underrated talent that NXT has to offer. And I feel like a good first singles championship in WWE could definitely be the NXT Women's North American Championship against Stephanie Vaquer. Yes, there is Jordynne Grace. The only thing though is that even though yes, Jordynne Grace has competed in NXT a few times before, especially throughout all of last year in 2024. I feel like in 2025 she has a lot of proving to do. It's the same thing with Jade Cargill when we saw her debut in 2023, showing up showing up to Raw, to SmackDown, to NXT, showing up to the PLEs and whatnot. Even with all of that, she had to prove herself, right? She had to prove that she can be a valuable asset to WWE, and she did. She did indeed prove that. Not only by eliminating Nia Jax from the Women's Royal Rumble, but also by pinning by pinning a member of Damage Control. In fact, I think she pinned Kairi Sane, wasn't it? I have to look back because I think she pinned Kairi Sane, I want to say. No. Cargill actually pinned none other than Dakota Kai with the Glam Slam, also known as Jaded. She calls it Jaded, but she pinned Dakota Kai in her WrestleMania debut, and I think it's pretty safe to say that now Jade Cargill could potentially miss WrestleMania, which is possible. But as far as Jordynne Grace goes, she has a lot of proving to do. Yes, she did compete in NXT and gave her a few victories and whatnot. She still needs to prove herself that she can be a valuable asset to NXT and prove that she can be as much of a dominant champion as Roxanne Perez was and as Julia is going to be in NXT. So I feel like I feel like Jordynne Grace, not the best first challenger at the moment. Give it another like 6 or 8 months. You know, after she's racked up a good amount of victories, then maybe. But between Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Xia Brookside, and Ash by Elegance, if I had to remove one from each, I would have to say Ash by Elegance and and Gigi Dolan. And the reason why I say that is because Ash by Elegance, there's really I think she'll just taint the legacy of the women's North American title, and I think and I think also, I really don't think she wants to win championships in WWE anymore. I think she just wants to do her own thing and just do whatever. So I don't think she's a good fit. Gigi Dolan, she had been out with an injury for like almost a year, and Cora Jade, she had been grinding for the last year. She had been grinding in the ring, defeating, having been in the ring with some of the best, as I have something in my eye, including last week on NXT pinning, was it last week? Yeah, including last week pinning Bayley, earning her spot in the Fatal 4-Way in the now Fatal 4-Way from this past Saturday. So between Xia Brookside and Cora Jade, who wants it more? Obviously, yes, Xia Brookside did have an opportunity at the NXT UK Women's title a couple times in the past, but she got released literally around the time that NXT UK was being disbanded, and it's a shame. It's a shame. She was such a good talent in WWE. I feel like in NXT she could have done a lot. She could have done a lot in NXT. Cora Jade, though, she is one of the most underrated and underappreciated talents that NXT has right now. And I feel like the only way that she could cement herself as a top star in NXT is by challenging for the women's North American title. So I feel like in my opinion, it has to be Cora Jade. Even though we will determine tomorrow night who will be Stephanie Vaquer's first challenger. As far as a second challenger goes, my opinion, it has to be Cora Jade. And if it's not her, at this point, there's really no telling how long it'll be before Cora Jade gets released from her contract, and it won't be pretty, to say the very least. But with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of wait a minute, hold up, before I forget, hold on, guys. Do not leave this video. I almost forgot. Quick reminder, quick announcement. Tomorrow is going to be probably one of the craziest videos I've ever done, and it's going to be a review video on the Vince McMahon docuseries that's on Netflix. This was actually this idea was given to me by a friend of mine named Hugo. Shout outs to him. He's an old friend of mine from high school. This was actually his idea. I do want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. There will be some things that I will have to revise in terms of my wording, so get ready for that. I'm not really sure how this video is going to turn out, but we will have to wait until tomorrow to find out. So get ready, guys. It is going to be one hell of a video, and it could be one of my longest videos ever. So get ready for that. And on that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. If you guys want to send me fan mail and want me to open it up here on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.